Okay, everybody, it's a 3-day weekend.
Why is it a 3-day weekend?
I had a dentist appointment yesterday. I didn't really like it.
What's the show today?
This is Nothing But Worry, everyone.
Yeah,
Why is it called Nothing But Worry, Bobby?
there's nothing but worry in our life, darling.
If you learn to drop worry, let nothing bother you, your life will be perfect.
What else will there be but worry? So you had a day today where you saw someone.
Yeah, my mother's in town. They're with my sister. They're finalizing getting crap out of the house to get it ready for sale.
They're
And
supposed to be having somebody come tomorrow who's been after them for 9 months, 12 months to buy the house.
so, anyway, they've been down there a week and a half, and I've been putting off going to visit. And finally, we went today.
It doesn't help we've been exhausted and sleeping all the damn time.
And my mother's just pitiful. She doesn't weigh anything, and she can't hear very well, and she can't keep her thoughts together enough to have a conversation. She thought I was her brother for a while.
What got me was she said that she was 116 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
When you and I met, I was 128 pounds. I've got a couple inches on her, but I was never as emaciated as she is.
Yeah.
She's just skin and bones. There's nothing on her.
Yeah. Well, so we did that. My daughter is on a trip with her boyfriend, so we've got to feed her cat while she's away. So we're making 2 trips a day up there, and you got to scoop the fucking litter box out.
Wait a minute. Who does the litter box?
Hey, it's not my cat.
I have to do the litter box, okay? I have to feed the cat. At the most, you'll top off the water.
I do enough heavy lifting around here to avoid having to pick up shit.
That's true. You got plenty of shit at work to deal with. So,
You know,
the house today, your mom's was absolute chaos.
yeah, there's shit everywhere.
They're just trying to pack up as much of Jane's shit as possible. The strange thing is, it's just being moved out there to be stored. She just won't part with things. They have gotten her to agree to leave a few things behind, and those are going to be sold in an estate sale in the next month. But they're taking the largest size U-Haul back to Montana with them. They're going to have a tow hitch attached to it, and Catherine's Mustang, she's got a 1960-something Mustang, is going to be attached to that. And then Catherine is going to be driving with your mom, I guess, in the car.
She said it's going to take
5 to 6 days.
Yeah, to get across the country on all this caravan of crap
It
to
doesn't
Montana.
help that they are going to Texas to see Marcy's
That's
estranged son. They're going to stay there.
Not
for
a strange son, just orphaned son.
Okay, orphan son. What was the story? His mama had him, and he didn't know who his daddy was.
No, this is not one of those two people. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute, maybe it is. No.
I don't know. There was some sort of blood test.
No. Those are other people. My uncle had 2 sons by his first wife. That's right, because she had 2 wives. She had 2 sons already by somebody else. I think that's what the story is. Anyway, he also had 2 illegitimate sons that he probably never knew anything about.
They found each other on this DNA
My sisters
swab
found these people through the DNA search sites. Anyway, so they're going to stop by and give him something.
Some
that's
his
right.
father's
That's
old
right.
stuff.
Some of my uncle's army crap they still had.
So which uncle is this, Mars or the Jimmy?
Yeah, Morris.
Lord, you remember that time some guy came up and started banging on the door, looking for his Mars's mother, your grandmother? And then later on, they found out he'd gone out in the woods and killed himself, and he was one of Mars's estranged kids. He walked out in the woods and shot himself.
I think you're confusing a couple of different stories, but The brother they're going to visit in Texas, I mean, the son they're going to visit, his brother, yeah, got bad off and killed himself. Yeah. But anyway,
This is the one that Catherine hung around with for a couple of years after they first met. They went back and forth to each other's house, and he had mules and all this other stuff, and I don't understand her connection to all these cousins.
yeah, I know. I don't have any interest in meeting the rest of my family either. But so been getting some stuff done, getting some good painting done, good drawing. My sleep's been off. I can't think of anything to say. There's nothing pressing on my mind at the moment. I'm trying to.
Well, we didn't do a show last weekend after we gone to Atlanta.
Yeah, we had a really nice time. We wound up not doing half what we were going to do because we got so tired. But we did go to the DeKalb Farmers Market and to Cheerin's grocery store, and just bought a bunch of stuff. I think we might have bought a little too much bread. You have to eat that bread immediately because it's so
I did
fresh.
give away quite a bit of it to Stephanie and Steve and Reed. But and we also brought back treats for them as well. A lot of teas and Indian snacks and cookies and pastries and such.
Yeah, and I got Szechuan chutney, which is so hot. It's so flavorful.
I got coriander chutney and mint chutney, and they were $4.99 each, and I've been paying anywhere from $7.99 to $9.50 online to get it. So
well, if you take a tortilla and smear, when I first started doing this, I was using gochujang, but if you can smear whatever you want, hot sauce of some kind, and then slice up Swiss cheese on it, then take some spinach and tear it into bits. Put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. When it comes out, then it's flexible. You can roll it up and then stick it back in for 30 seconds. Then let it cool. It's fantastic. And the Szechuan chutney is so hot.
It's stinky.
You think it's stinky?
Well, it's garlic and chilies, and once you heat it in the microwave with that cheese, it starts smelling. Ooh, it's strange.
That is true. If we'd went to Buford Highway, I was thinking we could go this weekend, but we wound up being too sleepy to go this weekend.
Oh, yeah,
but
too much to do,
if we'd gotten to go to the Buford Highway Farmers Market, I could have got some real kimchi and had you wig out because I was eating it in the house.
Oh, I think the general rule is sit on the porch and eat it. But it isn't as bad because we're able to find the non-fish kimchi up there. But if you get the kimchi with fish, that is an altogether bad stink.
Yeah. They have so many different kinds up there.
Yeah, it is amazing.
The radish and
the spring onion, and then they've got, oh God, all kinds of stuff they chop up because they have this huge international community up there that they cater to. Buford Highway is located at this nexus of all these different Asian and Hispanic cultures, and they all come together, and then they throw in these international, like German and Russian into the thing because they have the German patisserie conditorei, and then they have the Russian hot bar and a patisserie for them. And then there's a ton of Slavic candies and specialties. The European stuff's very limited. Like the French and the Dutch Isle.
Maybe Western Europe, but Eastern Europe, they have a lot of stuff.
Well represented, but Western Europe is not. They've got like maybe 6 by 6 feet of space for France and Italy and the Netherlands,
but they have all kinds of halva.
Yeah.
Because sunflower seeds are such a big deal in Ukraine and the surrounding area.
They have the regular sesame halva, but the sunflower is the stuff that we go for. And they have one that has blueberries in it.
The blueberry one is amazing. And they have aviar, the real deal, not this shit from Trader Joe's.
Yeah, the red pepper paste from Trader Joe's doesn't begin to compare. to True Avyar, and they've got the Gerhut, Gerzut, what is it?
Zergut.
Zergut from Germany.
No, it's from Czechoslovakia.
Is it?
Yeah, because Zergut is not written the way it would be written in German.
Okay. So they've got that Eastern European, and then they've got some Turkish brands of the Avyar as well.
And I'll tell you something else. Apparently, kvass is a big
Drink?
soft drink in
Russia.
Russia, and
old
there's
Eastern
tons
bloc.
of that stuff up there.
Yeah.
They drink it the way we drink Coca-Cola here.
At one point, I think there was a celebration bottle, and it had pictures of who was the heretic priest that they couldn't kill for the Tsar?
Rasputin,
Yeah,
that's
they had
right,
pictures
yeah.
of Rasputin on it.
Oh my God, that place has got it's just so amazing. And in the back, all these different kinds of cheeses, lots of fresh Mexican cheeses and they always have samples laid out. And
So you missed all of that. They also have a traditional Mexican bakery back there.
well, they also have the Asian hot food in the back.
Oh fuck yeah!
We get mung bean patties
Yeah.
every time we go. And there's a food court up front where we take the stuff and we sit down and eat. Now, we've never eaten in what they have in the food court.
That's not true. We did get baklava once from there and some drinks, but we ate it with what we gotten from the hot bar in the back, the Asian hot bar.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff at that place.
We had a seaweed,
Seaweed salad.
yeah, and I can't remember what else other than the kimchi.
They've had some other stuff.
Mung bean patties.
We found a 25 pound box of parboiled rice in the parking lot there, and basically gave it to my mother.
That's not all we found there, remember?
Oh, that's right. One time I went up there and spent $20 on lunch, and I said, "Okay, well, while you keep shopping, I'm gonna put the leftovers in the car." Walked outside, and there was a $20 bill blowing up against the curb. Oh, it was fantastic.
So there is such a thing as a free lunch if you count driving 2+ hours to get there.
There's a place next door. It's like what is that? Like an exhibition hall or something?
Yeah, Peter went to a Lego exhibition there.
Right next door to the Beaver Highway Farmers Market.
Yeah, yeah.
There used to be an Indian restaurant right to the right in the parking lot, but it's been closed.
They keep going through owners.
We never ate
It's
there.
one of those lock key places.
Oh, I'll tell you something. When we were coming down the hill, the biggest grocery store, well, nationwide, Indian chain of grocery stores is Patel Brothers. But up the hill behind Patel Brothers in Decatur is where Cherry is. And when you're coming down, you pass through the little smaller shops. Some of them sell silver jewelry. But we saw a truck unloading a load of skinned, dressed goat carcasses into the back of some butcher shop. It was revolting.
I knew some people locally that had goats and they would sell them. And they found out that if they allowed people to slaughter the goats on site, they could get a certain audience to come in. They set up a halal setup at their farm for people to come in and ritually slaughter. And they would
Wait a
take them
minute.
back. Yes.
They're more likely to buy the meat?
Apparently they like to slaughter themselves. So they'd come down, they'd select the goat, they would go in, they had a clean room, just basically it's just bricks and bleach and bright lights and clean countertops, stainless steel. And the person comes in, and they select the goat, they take it, they do a ritual slaughter, take it in, and prep the thing. Now, I don't know if you remember this, Ronnie and her family were from Pakistan or northern India. And they had shops at 2 different locations here, one on Prince Avenue and one on Baxter Street. The one on Prince Avenue, her father or father-in-law, I forget what the story was, he had a room in the back where you could look through the glass and you could watch him preparing the halal meats.
Wow. Do you remember in the Blair Brothers movie where they go sailing with the pirates
The boogie. Yeah.
on to like inaugurate the voyage auspiciously. They take a goat down in the hold to slaughter it down in the hold to sprinkle the hold with its blood, and it shows the goat being lowered by rope into the hole, and then shows the very second when the knife starts to bite into the throat, and then cut to the next scene.
Jesus.
Oh wow! I'll tell you something. I'm beginning to realize as I get older that my system is like on a knife edge, and you have to maintain the same routine, including your diet and your levels of caffeine intake, or else you're off. And because the last couple of weeks have been so screwed up sleep-wise, my caffeine intake is up, down, and I'm not. This last couple of days, I haven't had as much caffeine, especially not all at once as I'm used to. So that I'm off a little bit because of that. It's really weird because as my body's begun to break down, I can see the flaws or the fuck ups in more detail. You know, when I was a young man,
Fuck ups.
well, like when you're a young man, you can shake off missing sleep.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know,
Yeah.
but now if you miss your sleep, you're like, I am really hurting here. You know, and brain can't function. That's another thing that is bad.
Ain't bad. Talk like Trump now. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't help that my mouth is still numb from that surgery earlier.
Oh
this
yeah,
week.
Bonnie went to the same dentist a couple of days earlier. Came home with her mouth so numb from the procedure that she was biting the fuck out of her bottom lip.
And it's still numb to this day, and I have this lump on the front of it. It's affecting the way that I speak, the way that I eat. I keep biting it again and again because it's still so swollen. Looks like you've been beating me.
Well, the world will know who's the boss around here then.
Yes, master. Yes, master.
Listen, I got to go get I'm going to pause this. I got to get a
Okay.
cup of tea. All right, I've got one ice cube in the tea. Now, the little neighborhood where near the apartments where our daughter lives, it's got to be one of the oldest neighborhoods in downtown Athens. It's tiny little streets, big houses close together, and
It's the Boulevard Historic District.
yeah, and whoever most of these are probably rentals at this point, but the yards are just overgrown with decades of maintained gardens, and there's a lot of in such a small space. You've got to maximize your privacy on your backyard, such as it is. So even in this crowded little area, you've got areas that you can't see from the road. I'd love to explore all these people's houses and their backyards and everything.
Yeah, the front yards on some of them are very short and very steep.
right.
The houses are raised up. Went past one today, and it was as if the house itself was lifted about 3 or 4 feet above the street, and you had an incline that was no more than 5 feet from the sidewalk up to that porch. And the whole thing was just layered in these flowering plants. And I realized they have planted so densely, there's no weeds in there.
Right.
And it was strange because they also had things like juniper in there, which is a cascading kind of shrub, low line, evergreen. But then they had these bright spring and summer flowers all mixed in with it. So what they've chosen is stuff that comes in at different seasons and then pops his head up at the right time and then goes back and reoccurs.
Living where we live, everybody has so much yard space
Yeah.
that you can't do without a lawnmower. There, the lawns are so small, you can't really have a lawnmower. You'd have to have a weed eater or have somebody come in. So,
Yeah, we've got 5 acres here, and the lawn guys were here.
and they only cut maybe a third or a fourth of what we actually own. The rest
Yeah,
of it,
they
we let it
they
run
cut a
wild.
little bit over an acre of if even an acre of the 5 we have, because we want to be surrounded by the wildlife.
Is that barn ours now? Is that
Yeah.
part of it? Okay,
The
so
barn's
cool.
ours.
Cool.
And they cut all the way out to the barn, but we are just ringed by thick, thick forest. Some areas that are larger, the forest is much taller and you can walk in between, but the closer you get to the house, the thicker it is. Because that was at one point much more maintained. We had over 2 acres maintained at one point, and we let it grow in. And so it's a newer forest near the house.
It's funny hearing you say barn because that barn predates you moving to this property.
Mm-hmm.
You've assimilated and been assimilated by living here for 30 fucking years. Did we even talk about that last time?
I don't think we did. Yeah, we just celebrated our 30th anniversary, and that's why we went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And it was an uneventful anniversary.
I had a lot of fun that day.
I made you a photo montage. I sent that to you.
Oh, you mean the actual anniversary
yeah,
itself?
yeah.
Well, I had to go to work.
I know exactly. And I was recovering from the damn trip. Jesus. And doing more house cleaning. You and I are going to have a task ahead of us in the next 2 weeks.
What?
We're getting 2.
Oh,
3
yeah. That's something I didn't
enormous
mention.
rugs.
When they leave, when they move out to Montana after this, they're leaving some rugs down there for us.
They're
Big
like
ones.
11 by 15.
So,
We're going to bring them in here and have to move the furniture and figure out exactly where it's going to go. Like the big one in the living room should be able to fit from the break front hutches here all the way over, but we may or may not end up having to move the fireplace. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to accommodate that or not. And then another one's going to go into the dining room. And I'd like it to be the one that's in that dining room. The problem is something's going to have to move that's going to be heavy, and it's probably going to end up being both the secretary and the china hutch in there. It's going to be a time-consuming process.
yeah, so a lot to look forward to.
Not really. And then there's another one that matches the rugs we have in the kitchen. And I think that one's going to end up being put into the library. And then there's another one that has a black base oriental, and that may go into Peter's den. He likes oriental carpets also. These are massive. I forget how many thousands of dollars your mother sank into those damn carpets.
There's no telling how much money she's wasted in her lifetime.
It's ridiculous. But our house is 25, 23 years old.
Going to be 22 years old.
Going to be.
Halloween.
Okay. But instead of replacing carpets, the carpets, we've been putting rugs down over all these years. So a lot of things are going to get moved around, and we're just going to be layering some more stuff. And I'm probably going to give Reed,
Be like living in a yurt.
or I'm going to give Reed the one that's in the dining room now. I'm going to give that to her for her house because it matches her color palette more.
One thing we thought about doing tonight was going through everything and purging.
There it goes.
We've been hearing this noise. We found out it's probably a fox that's out there making a yapping.
They're calling each other, and they make the sound. Ow! 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 It's creepy as fuck. I'll be in the bathtub late at night, and I hear them calling each other. It's like, oh my god, it's at it again. We just now today figured it out because Catherine was asking about it too. I said, I was thinking maybe it's a fox, and I went home and looked it up, and sure enough, that's what we've been hearing. Foxes.
It's funny because the the reputation foxes have for being clever is so true, because you'll see armadillos and squirrels and possums and deer dead in the road all the time, but you rarely see a fox. You rarely even see one on the side of the
You
road.
rarely see them, period.
They have enough sense to know, oh, this thing is coming. I should go the other way. But deer, their natural
Look
instinct
at
is,
lights.
no, outrun it, confuse it by running in front of it. It's programmed in.
Fucked up your car, didn't it?
Yeah, my beautiful, perfect car. The stupid deer killed itself running into the side of the car. I had to slam on the brakes coming home a couple of days ago, and all my shit went in the floor.
They're dumb creatures.
And armadillos just are oblivious to the world, just lumbering slowly across the road.
They're like old dinosaurs when you're watching them from a distance, especially when they have their babies toddling along behind them. It's really weird to watch how they move.
Bizarre. I'm looking at that whatever the hell that is I did over there, the framed piece of art that's below the air conditioner controller. It was very thin paper, and I watered down
The
ink.
larger or the smaller of the two?
The larger one.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a collage or not, but what I did was I took these big pieces of thin paper, maybe 10 years ago, and watered down ink and watered down black paint too. I think it's just ink, and smeared it, and just did all kinds of crazy smears through the paint. Through the ink, and then I let it dry, and then I cut it up and reassembled it in these collages. And from over here, like 12 feet away, it looks fantastic.
It looks good up close too. That one over to the right of it, I think, is one of your Voles inspired ones.
Maybe. I can't really see it from here.
It's small. It's hard to see.
But I was just thinking, it made me realize, to some people, there's always going to be a market for real artwork, because it has a completely different appearance, like you say, up close or far away, in reality, than some printed piece of shit, some digital creation, on a screen especially.
I love all of our art that is, handmade, that is small, local artist, regional artist. We've got some great stuff. I have some really good etchings in here, and lithographs. And I've been very fortunate. I have a watercolor of Salzburg.
I love that. I love that Hiroshige, or
Yeah.
whoever did that over
And
there.
the one next to it also, the Koi,
Mm-hmm.
is a limited edition.
Where'd you get that at?
That I got from, I forget her name. She was one of those crazy people that was anti-Hillary. Once I found out who she was one of Greer's friends. I couldn't deal with her. She was nutty.
Hold on one second. Our son is in the room. What's up, kiddo?
Let's go to bed. You want to pause it?
Okay, I'll pause it. All right. What were we talking about? Oh, the artwork in the place.
Yeah. We've got some great
We
stuff in here.
didn't do that project idea we had for shorter videos where we take a photograph of something or some area in the house, and then the video is just discussing that. I tell you what, we can do that right now. Let's.
Okay, well, let me go run to the bathroom. You pause it, and
All right, we're trying an experiment here. This will be the prelude to videos to come. Basically, I don't have the photograph yet, but we're gonna just have an arbitrary line from the middle of this wall over around that through that corner into.
it's our entry.
Yeah. I say, first of all, this fireplace is just a fake fireplace. It's this movable mantle thing, and Bonnie's got bricks stacked in it to give it a sort of effect. And I don't have much to say about it. Well, I was going to have to talk about it because this is one of her purchases.
Uh, we used to have a table that sat here.
Yeah, it was terrible. Ricky,
Actually,
huh?
no, actually, it's. I've shown it to you
Let's sit
several
down.
times online. It was an entry table, had a large mirror over it, and our shoes used to get kicked off under it. But that wasn't what was photographed. It was always the changing seasons of the entry table, and that's been focused on online for I don't know how many times now and featured in different things. So my entry was internet famous, so to speak. um, then again, I changed it. I have always wanted a fireplace, and one of my biggest regrets in getting this house is that we did not opt for the fireplace, which one of the areas was where your CDs are now. The other was the back wall where our science fiction collection is in the den, the library.
And I got to say, I'm thrilled we didn't do it because I would have hated it.
Okay. Well, we would have stayed warmer certain winters when the power went out. Anyway, I found a $25 mantle on Facebook Marketplace, and Peter and I drove a couple hours to go get it.
I did
heavy
not.
as hell.
Where did you go to get it?
North Madison County. And so I lined it with bricks to give it a back. And I change out what's in the firebox each season. And then on top it's pretty much the same. But I've got some interesting pieces. Do you remember when we got that mirror that's over the fireplace?
Not really.
It was the 20th or 25th anniversary of the Goodwill opening in Athens. And they had moved from across the mall to next to the mall. And we just happened to go in there one weekend. And they had these amazing prices on everything. And that massive mirror was $25. You can't get something like that for less than $450, $500 now. It's not that it's old. It's just that it's huge. It's got these beveled edges on it.
It's heavy as hell,
It
too.
is. But it was completely wired perfectly for hanging. It's well balanced. Everything is intact. All of the ornamentation on the mirror is perfectly intact on the frame. It's wonderful. But do you know what the tray is I have up on top of the cream color tray?
We were talking about that the other day. It looks like an ashtray because it's got little
It is an
indentations.
ashtray.
It's got indentations for the cigarettes. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and there's like this couple. It's actually three people. The third person's hidden, and it looks like a mother and father celebrating what will be the birth of their grandchild. Because the girl's in the background, she's holding a very full belly, and it's just a great Japanese scene. Excuse me, I'm sorry, that's Chinese. And then we've got the Chinese good luck box. It's bats.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple from...
It's like fake jade.
Yeah, it's green resin. And then my great $2 vase there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a pot up there I paid $5 for. The one with the plants in it. And that's lovely. So, the bat box. It is a wood box from China. It has brass work on it. And there are bat images on the lid. And apparently, bats are good luck in Chinese tradition because the word sounds like a favorable word in Chinese. Another word that means like blessing or luck or some fortune or something. And then we've got the goldfish up there, or the koi rather,
Mm-hmm.
a lithograph of those. Below that, Do you
Well,
recognize that? Where we got that pot?
mm-mm.
It's beautiful. It's a Japanese pottery, and it has horse chestnuts that have split open. And we got that at Archipelago Antiques in Athens at Five Points. It was that little place downtown. At Five Points, it was downstairs underneath Home
Yeah,
Place.
that was a great little store.
That was wonderful.
This place, in what they call Five Points Athens, there used to be an antique store that was down these stairs around the side of this building down in the basement, and it's a little bitty place. But in the back there was a room where it was a little more spacious because this woman used it as her personal painting studio while the store was open, and you could wander back in there, and she had her paintings on the wall. But then in the corner, she had like sort of like really sort of flimsy screens up to screen off a little corner of the room where she sat and painted all goddamn day. And it was like a combination gallery space and workspace. And I just don't know how she functioned like that. But anyway, and I wasn't very impressed with those paintings she had.
No, I wasn't either. But a couple of years ago, I bought us that Hiroshige wood block print.
It is beautiful.
It's from the 1800s, and it's part of a series that were commissioned.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like a series of views of some place or something. Yeah.
They had, of course, the capital. I guess it was Edo at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the all roads lead to Rome. Edo had all these roads that went out.
Right. Yeah.
And then there were different stopping points along the roads for merchants and travelers with inns and other places, and they called them stations.
Right.
And so this is one of the prints from one of the series that would tell people along this route you can find these things. And this is interesting because the road ran next to a river, and the river ran into the town, and you see two different punts on the river. One is empty, meaning it's delivered, and the other is full,
Right.
and it's heading in, and it's still under a moonlight sort of thing, and he's got a load of, looks like cut wood he's taking in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's beautiful. I knew you'd appreciate it, especially.
Well, let's talk about what's in that little cabinet, open-faced cabinet there, and then we'll call it quits.
Well, it's a combination of things.
It's little knickknacks, basically.
Yes, I've got pottery from several hundred years in there. I have some excellent cloisonne work up top. And one of the vases has multi-sides on it and a lid. And each of the sides has a different image of a different scene on it. And then the one to the right of it has a floral decoration, and it's a particular type of cloisonne. And then the one to the left is not true cloisonne. The one to the left is a painted tin meant to look like cloisonne. And so it's no actual metal that's separating the colors. It's just a thick layer of paint that makes it look like it's outlined in the same way the cloisonne is. And then down below I've got Buddha statues, and then pottery that is, oh my god, there is a false Indian pot in there. There was a pottery in, I want to say Indiana, that produced these fake Indian pots, and they became famous for being fake Indian pots. And they use a dipping technique to apply the color, so it looks like it's drip work. And then there's an old English pot in there as well. We've got a bone box that has a Asian scene on it. And there is it's not a philosopher's stone. It's some other type of, it's one of those reflective stones. In Chinese and Japanese culture, you find beautiful objects. They are meant to reflect upon, to think about, to consider things, and so that's about it for that area.
Hold on a second. I got to do something. Okay, now, like I said, we don't have the photograph in front of us, so we're just sort of winging what's going to be like when we post this. Now, at the bottom of this little cabinet, it looks like little painted. Are those llamas, or are they supposed to be? That's a Brahma bull there. The other, I guess, is a camel or a horse or something. What's that one there?
So we've got a llama there, and we've got a bull there, and they are from Peru.
They are beautiful.
Yes.
Is this an ocarina?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. It's from Mexico. It's tourist art made as a replica of pre-Columbian art. And this one is not in good order.
I see that, yeah.
You see it's got the different holes here, and you would blow on there, but that little piece there is supposed to rattle around.
What is this?
Is the bone box here that has different scenes.
What is this thing here?
Oh, that is just a simple, beautiful green vase.
Is it wedded to the base?
It is attached to the base by sticking plaster, a putty. I put it on there because it elevates it in the scene itself. We've got a replica from the tomb that was opened in China.
Yeah.
With all the warriors.
This is a beautiful little setup, and I never pay any attention to it.
Yeah. And this is the piece of pottery I was talking about, the Indian pottery that is not actually Indian pottery. And this is actually not English. This is from North Carolina, as a matter of fact. It's from a local pottery there. This is the English pot here. Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
You see how old and broken that is?
Yeah.
But the painting on it's beautiful. And then a couple Buddhas here. I love the fat Buddhas. And if you look at this is bone china painted. And it's got scenes from China, but this is for the export market. This actually is not marked. And this is part of the poppy seed culture from Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Opium is a big thing, and so poppy seeds are, you would use some of the paste and you would share it,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be put in here. This is a snuff bottle, and this is another snuff bottle. Now, they are supposed to have a tiny little, here we go, this one does. You see on the end?
It's a little spoon.
It is a tiny little spoon. You put it in there, you get your tiny bit of snuff, and put it in your mouth.
I've
and
tried
then
that.
The spoon itself is attached to a cork that sits on it. These are highly collectible.
There's like Copenhagen, which is wet snuff you put in your mouth.
Ugh.
But there's also the old dry powder snuff that you would snort, and I tried it a couple of times, and it's horrible.
But look at this one. This is one of the chinoiserie pieces I bought myself several years ago for my birthday. And you have the scenes that go around on each of the different sides.
Mm-hmm.
And you see even the inside is coated with color. And it has a lid that when seated, the painted figures line up if you do it correctly. And they match what's on the other part when you put the lid on. And this is the one that looks like cloisonne, but it's not. This is just an English tea tin, but it is in excellent condition.
I see all the little flowers are outlined in gold to
And
make it look like
this is pressed, and that's what gives it the impression of being cloisonne, because this is a flat piece of metal, and it's pressed, has an image pressed into it. Then the lines that are pressed through are rubbed in gold, and that's what makes it look like the outline of a cloisonne thing, and then the individual areas are painted in. And that is hand painted. It is absolutely gorgeous. These are fake Indian marbles. In the Southeast in particular, there's all kinds of stories about things that the Indians did, etc. These are just creek stones. And yes, people may have used them as marbles or to play with, etc. But these are created when stones get rolled around in the creek and they become smoothed. And people will take them and they will use from different purposes. And this was a collection that I had bought. And I think it's lovely because they're all different colors. And a friend of mine told me, he said that you can tell the age of some of them, whether or not they have mercury, depending on the gold, the way the gold was processed and such.
Yeah.
But if they don't have it, it's for a certain period. But I don't know how true that is.
All right,
It was somebody who used to do gold panning.
we will follow up with a better version of this idea later on another episode. But I think we should wrap it up for tonight.
Is there anything else?
I need to try to get another showing of my painting, so I need to try to contact that place tomorrow. What?
Maybe we can do that while we're out dealing with the cat tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's a good idea actually.
We could ask, see what the policy is. There may not be anybody.
Maybe a year, 2.5 years ago, year and a half, I had a showing. Last time I ever had a showing of my paintings, there's this health food grocery store. Basically across the street from that little antique store I was telling you about down in the basement, and they got like a little dining area where they show artwork, and it was in November, I believe. I know that, and I showed some paintings, and they had a write-up about it in the flagpole, very, very brief. And that's the only place I know of that's pretty much guaranteed they'll take anybody. And
the only reason you had a write-up in the flagpole is because I did a quick little press release for you.
Yeah, they basically printed her press release.
Yeah, and that's even when Melissa did your earlier show at Blue Sky, she used a lot of the press release material. I found that most places, if I just send a press release, they just print it verbatim. I did that with the food bank that we did back during COVID, because we started a food bank here in this area, me and you and Mary. And
So I'm pretty sure though it'd just be a burden off my mind just to know that I've got the work out there to some extent.
are you thinking about including just the current work, or are you going to do something more? I mean, do I need to take some of the stuff off the wall?
No. I want to just focus on the painting. I just, relatively recent stuff. God, looking at that, there's another collage up there, up near the top, that looking at it from here, it looks like you could there's so much you could do with the formula.
Let's see.
The one at this one here.
Is this one of your Voles inspired, or is this something different?
This is long after that time period.
But it still has that feeling to it.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at this other one you were describing earlier. Is it cut out?
Yeah, it's a collage. Yeah.
And what about this one? That one looks like it's cut out of something, but was it?
Yeah, that's just random smears of watered down ink that I let dry and then I cut up and made into a collage.
Yeah, I love this wood block print you did. Is that a self-portrait?
It's supposed to be Peter and me. Peter when he was a baby.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And then this one here. What's this?
This is made up shit.
It's just one of the ones that I liked, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How about this image? That's me. That's one of my things that I collected. It's a
little fake Greek or Roman
face.
Sculpture face, yeah.
And it's mounted nicely. We've got a Paris scene up here. Bruges scene here. This is not Chagall. Who is this?
That's what it's supposed to be.
Is it Chagall? No, it's Franz Marc.
Franz Marc. You're right. You're right.
Franz
Right.
Marc.
Right.
This is one of yours, and this is one of mine.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Hey, I like that one. It was a lot of fun to make.
It's art is fun.
Yes, it should be.
All right.
We didn't talk about the Tibetan mask, which has real teeth in it. Check out the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Where the teeth are, those are actual teeth. That's creepy as fuck.
This looks like something from a Blair Brothers movie for sure.
But it's actually Tibetan. I was able to source this one.
All right, we're going to cut it short because I'm getting loopy. All right, that's it. Bye.
Good night.